Namaste Sannyasa family and everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you in this daily live meditation session, me Dhyanse. We're meditating on 112 meditation techniques of Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra. In yesterday's session, we talked about three kinds of prayers. The first type of prayer, which is rooted in fear, which is rooted in greed, which is to an authority in asking for help. The second kind of prayer, which is the recognition of the fragment for the whole, this acknowledgement that we are just a fragment in this whole. To become one with the whole, to have that longing for the whole, is that prayer of the second kind. And the third kind of prayer, which we talked about in yesterday's session, is once this fragment is one with the whole. It is not only longing for the whole, but it has become one with the whole. It is always in connection with the whole. So we discussed these three kinds of prayer, and I asked you to contemplate on these kinds of prayer and the prayers that you do in your life. Naturally, questions arise, and there is a question that came up in our Sannyasa family. Let me go through this question with you. Let us meditate on this question together to go deeper and understand more clearly what are these three kinds of prayer, why we need to even contemplate over it, what do we get out of that. The meditator asks, "This is my third attempt today to write. I have revisited this morning's meditation this evening, and I'm still jolted by your discourse. I'm struggling to understand how you have described prayer. Minutes before the session started, I had prayed to our Lord with thanks for the time and space to join in. You are our spiritual guide, a master. I respect you greatly, but I need to question why you say that our prayers to God are only in greed and in fear. Why is there the assumption that God is prayed to as a boss? You asked us to contemplate on what prayer meant to us. It's a daily form of communication and connection, like our daily meditation sessions, but with the intention to give as much as we receive. Why this discourse upset me? I know you will help me with this. Thank you." See that truth is also upsetting. Truth is jolting. Truth is upsetting because the setup that you have is of the mind. The setup that you have is of assumptions, is of conditionings, is of learnings for years, and not only you, hundreds and thousands of years of conditioning that is put upon you through education, through culture, through all forms of ways to set your mind up in a certain way, and truth is upsetting. The moment you come across truth, you are in dangerous waters, because truth does not care about your assumptions. It does not care about your patterns, about your learnings, about the culture, about the religion. Truth has its own genre. It has nothing to do with religion. Truth has nothing to do with your beliefs. Truth has nothing to do with your faith. If you are in faith, if you are in belief, if you are in religion, and you come across truth, there is danger. Because truth will not care about that. Truth will be upsetting for your beliefs. Truth will be upsetting for your faith, for any kind of assumption. Those assumptions that you have made may be helpful for you for a while, may be serving something in your life which you needed. There was nothing better in life, so you were holding on to those ideas, those beliefs. But when truth comes in, it upsets everything that is not the truth. Consciousness upsets everything that is unconscious. Therefore, when you come in contact with Tantra vibration, with truth, you have to understand that it will not always be agreeable. It will not always be of your taste. It will not always serve your mind. Until now, you were liking what was being said, you were agreeing to what was being said, and the moment there is truth coming in which is not agreeable to your mind, you have problems, you would have trouble. Everything will appear to be upsetting. See that truth is inconvenient. Truth is upsetting. A father was putting a 3-year-old daughter to bed, and as a nighttime practice, that 3-year-old daughter said, "I will do a prayer." The father said, "Yes, go ahead, do that." She said, "God bless Daddy, God bless Mommy, God bless Grandma, goodbye Grandpa." The father said, "What do you mean goodbye Grandpa?" She said, "I don't know, it just felt like saying that." And the father ignored, and the 3-year-old daughter went to sleep. Next morning, the father received the news that Grandpa is dead. He was shocked for a while, but he thought maybe there is some sort of a coincidence. Few months later, he was again putting the daughter to bed. While the daughter was doing the prayer, she said, "God bless Daddy, God bless Mommy, and goodbye Grandma." The father this time was slightly concerned of what had happened before, but he was not sure what to make of it. Next morning, he received the news that Grandma is dead as well. And this time he was completely shocked. How is the child knowing? And more terrified by what's happening. A few months later, once again, while he was putting the daughter to bed and the prayer was happening, the daughter said, "God bless Mommy, goodbye Daddy." And listening to this, the father was completely shocked, shattered. He put the daughter to sleep, but he could not sleep that night. He was completely in trouble. He was just in such restlessness the whole night. And the next morning, he made sure that he's safe. He's not doing anything that would put him into danger. He did not even go to his work. He stayed at home. The whole day he was just flittering from here and there, worrying what is going to happen, trying to save his life. Later on, his wife came later in the evening. She came very late. She looked very, very upset as well, very shattered and shocked. He asked, "What happened? What happened at work?" She said, "Don't ask me. Today my boss died in the middle of the meeting out of nowhere." Truth is inconvenient. It is upsetting. It is shattering. If you are coming in contact with the truth, get used to these moments where your mind will be thrown away. You're saying, "You are our spiritual guide, a master. See that as a master, the only thing I bring to you is truth. My communication to you is not to convince your mind, is not my job, is not my business. That is of the priest, that is of the businessman. My communication to you is of the heart, is of the spirit, in an attempt to convey the truth. If the mind comes in the way, there will be no communication possible. Only when you listen, when you open, when you're receptive with your heart, with your soul, only then there is a possibility of truth being communicated, truth being transferred, a light moving from one to the other and becoming your truth as well, lightening up your truth so that you see all this in your own experience. You do not need to reach out to anybody. You do not need to lean on anyone. This is not the work of a master. Master is not an authority, unlike priest and this whole idea of God. You say, minutes before the session started, I had prayed to our Lord with thanks for the time and space to join. See, there are two aspects to it. One is, to whom are you praying? And second, what is the nature of this prayer? If this nature of the prayer is of gratitude, is of thankfulness, this is of the kind, number two, of the prayer that I discussed yesterday, where there is an acknowledgement, there is a gratitude to the whole. But still, to whom are you addressing this prayer? To the Lord. This Lord, the idea of Lord, see that this is an authority. This idea of Lord is something in your mind where the relationship is of authority. And we have lived this slavery, this model of authority for hundreds and thousands of years, because in this way you can be easily controlled. In this way there is a setup that allows a certain organization, and there is a way in which you are never coming across the truth. You are always under the authority. And therefore I said yesterday, the prayer that you do to the authority is out of the fear, is out of the greed. You say, I had prayed to our Lord with thanks for the time and space to join. But I need to question why you say our prayers to God are only in greed and in fear. See that you raise this question. It simply shows that it stirred some fear in you. Because if that would not be the case, if your prayers were really in gratitude, really in thankfulness, and not in greed and not in fear, you would not have been concerned or bothered about what I said. But it touched you. It touched you in a place of fear. Because now the idea of this authority is somewhat taken away from you, is somewhat touched, is somewhat shaken up. See that it does not matter if this is a religious authority. This world, the way we live in, it makes sure that there is some form of authority over you. Over the last hundreds of years, religion was the authority. Priest was the one who was the intermediary between the authority, the God, the Lord, and you, for your wishes, for your greed, for your fears, to address all of that in life. And now you see science is taking that authority. It is becoming that authority for the next hundreds of years, where the scientists are the new priests. They are going to decide what is right, what is wrong, how to go about things, what is true and what is not true. See that I have nothing against religion. I'm just talking about the model, the underlying psychology that you're living is of this authority over you. There is no authority over you. Can you ever conceive of that idea that there is no authority over you? You are the fragment, you are the whole, you are the God, and you are the human. You are it all. There is no authority over you. But we are so conditioned to live under authority that we first of all take the authority of the religion. We find safe space in the authority because you can be slightly irresponsible. You feel safety in some authority. There is an irresponsibility that you can enjoy because then someone else will take care of things. All you have to do is to pray for what you want and what you don't want in life, and that authority will take care of that. So this authority earlier was religious, now is moving towards science. It is changing the costumes, but the shape, the form, the energy behind it, the format of it is the same. It is rooted in you living the slavery of the authority and living in fear, in greed, and trying to address that with the authority. You say it is a daily form of communication and connection, like our daily meditation sessions, but with the intention to give as much as to receive. These intentions of giving as much as receiving, this transaction that you are building, that you have built up for yourself, this is a convenient transaction. This is a transaction of the mind. It has less to do with the heart. It has less to do with the spirit. When you move from your mind to your heart to your spirit, there is no transaction. There is no calculation of giving and receiving. You are simply one with the whole. The fragment is, first of all, in the kind of prayer number 2, is in the remembrance and the acknowledgement of the whole, and it moves towards prayer number 3, which is to be with the whole. And see that these meditation sessions are the bridge between prayer number 2 and prayer number 3. From you acknowledging, from you being in gratitude of the whole that is not the authority, the consciousness that is not the authority, that is also you, but you are living in this fragment. You're living as a fragment. You're living also in unconsciousness. Therefore, this acknowledgement of the whole, of the consciousness, is a state of prayer number 2. And from there on, meditation begins. From there on, the journey is of the meditation. It takes you to this state of prayer number 3, where you are in a continuity of one, being one with the whole, being one with God, without any authority. Because when you are one with the whole, what authority is there over the whole? What authority is there over you? Many more things could be said, but let us take these moments to meditate, to be in silence, to conceive of the idea that there is no authority over you. You must have never subjected yourself to even the idea, to even this imagination, to even the possibility that there is no authority over you. Give yourself a few moments to go into this truth. It may be jolting, it may be upsetting, it may be raising lots of emotions, lots of suppressions, lots of energy that is suppressed in you to the surface and above. You may shake, you may have experiences, but go into this idea with full conviction that there is no authority over you. You are the fragment, you are the whole. Let us sit in silence and take these few moments to awaken ourselves to this truth. Sitting in a posture that is comfortable, alert, yet relaxed. in these moments, as you recognize yourself as a fragment, as this self with few sensations of the body, few thoughts in the mind, this limited fragment. Acknowledge the whole. The infinite. That which contains everything. In allowing this fragment to merge in the whole, the sense of self to be one that contains everything, the infinite. And this sense of whole no authority, there's no one who decides for you. You have always been free. In your true nature, your consciousness ever expanding, your energies always liberated. No authority over you. Whatever you are experiencing in life, you create it yourself. Good experiences, bad experiences. You are the creator. You are the experiencer. No authority. In gratitude, in acknowledgement, in connection, in realization of the whole, your truth. Let all the lies settle and truth remain in you. Sit in silence, in awareness, in truth. And very gently and slowly, you may open your eyes. Remaining in connection with the whole, in the remembrance, in the continuity of remembrance of the whole of your truth, and living this truth, living your connection with the whole in every aspect, every situation of life. On this spiritual journey, if you wish to flow along with me and this sannyasa family to a place of truth, to a place of love, a place in yourself which is established in connection with everyone, without having to disrupt your life, without having to go to an ashram, without having to renounce anything in life. If you wish to live this integrated spirituality in life, you're more than welcome to join our sannyasa family. To apply, please write me an email with your introduction, with your calling for this integrated spiritual life, and what can you give back to the sannyasa family. Thank you very much. Namaste.